Hi guys, and welcome back to Quarantine Kitchen. This is season 3. Coming up on a whole new format, on a whole new layout of today's show. We're joined by TaylorMade and S23 Productions for our live performance in the studio with us. We've got the guys from Proper Chat podcast showing us how to do a main. We've got Curiousitea Kitchen and their weekly bake along. We've stolen their recipe to cover dessert to show you how easy it is to do at home. This is all for our Mother's Day special to show you how you can look after her at home with the bars, the restaurants, everything closed, all in quarantine. So before we continue a bit more with Quarantine Kitchen, let's go over to Rishi to grill our guests on the sofas and we'll find out more about them.
Welcome to Grill With, and my first interview tonight is with the legendary guys from Proper Chat podcast. My name is Rishi Kapoor, obviously a legend myself, and going over to the Proper Chat boys. And you guys' names are?
Hello, I'm Ashley. I'm one of the hosts of the Proper Chat podcast.
I'm Will. I'm one of the other hosts.
Hello, Will.
I'm Lewis.
Lewis, we know you very well.
Do ya?
Yeah, legendary artist over there in the corner.
Fantastic.
And may I say that what I have heard from Fab about you guys and what I've seen actually of your podcast are really funky, original and amazing.
Oh, thank you.
It's a new vibe, a new retro,
So
you know, raw.
Yes and no. We're more of a chat show. But
Tell me more, tell me more.
Rishi, can we take the mask off?
Of course we can.
Yeah.
Why I also add that they've all showed me their test certificates tonight and have COVID tests and they're all clear because we take COVID seriously.
We're clear of COVID anyway.
It was positive results already. But that means we're negative, but it was a positive result.
All jokes aside, they're all...
we were all in our own bubble anyway.
Now we can get on to the jokes, yes. Anyway,
what people need to know with our podcast, we're very toned down here. With our podcast, we try not to be PC.
Okay.
We've found that all the other podcasts out there are very politically correct.
Yeah.
Whereas we're just...
I'm getting that by the comedian that he was saying about.
Yes.
Yeah,
We've got to dial it back.
Because we are a family channel, so, you know.
So that's a little taster.
Checking my t-shirt here, not so smart.
We're the podcast for the guy who wants to hear those people chat shit in the pub.
Okay.
It's pub chat.
Pretty much the lads podcast.
Exactly.
The guys, you know.
Yeah, well we have female guests on as well.
And we do go into serious subjects, but we do. It's just a bit of fun for
We
everyone.
like one of the old legal radio channels that used to be back in the day. The sea and the boat, like broadcasting.
I like the idea of that.
Making it raw, making it real.
Hey, we're not pirate. We're pirate radio was broadcast in a pub. That's
it. You are the pirate radio podcast.
Boys, we should buy a boat.
Yeah, there we go.
And to be fair, we're all rocking some really crap beards.
That's terrible.
All the barbers are closed.
I
hope you don't use that same joke next week.
Well, do you know what? I probably will. Right. So you guys looking forward to cooking tonight?
I am, yeah.
Can't wait.
And how is your interview podcast thing going anyway?
It's going really well.
Yeah.
So we just launched a YouTube channel 2 months ago.
Exactly.
That's doing really well.
To be honest, not even that. Realistically, we launched the channel without the visuals. So but it's only the past, is it 2 or 3 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks that we've got visuals, which for YouTube is the main thing.
Visuals is a big thing, you know. Visuals.
For YouTube. You can listen to the podcast on any of the major platforms.
You can go Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. Literally just search.
Again, I don't know a lot about social media, so actually my girlfriend was actually telling me I need to educate me on that tonight.
So Spotify is across any platform, so you can have an iPhone and have Spotify. You can't have an Android and have iTunes.
Can't you? I've got an Android phone, sounds just I can't have iTunes on.
No, that's right.
I never knew that.
But we're available on iTunes.
Anywhere you can listen to podcasts, we're available. All you need to do is search the Proper Chat podcast and you'll find us.
Wow, okay.
And we chat a lot of rubbish and we have a great time and we have a laugh. I'm the dickhead of the group. That's what I base myself on. But we enjoy it.
Yeah, we do. It's just a bit of fun and it's something that hopefully everyone can enjoy, especially the time that we're going for at the moment.
It's a few hours to let loose.
Can you tell, because obviously you've had Fab on, you know.
Yes, it was episode 27, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's 27.
Can you tell me a bit more about, for instance, your format? I mean, you've got after hours or after dark.
Essentially, we have our standard podcast, which you can pick up anywhere for free, which is just
it's not PC. It pushes the line. But we realised
of entering.
We literally get guests on. We talk to the guests. We have a laugh and we push the line a bit. To a point that we'd never get monetised on YouTube. We know that, we recognise that, so we set up a Patreon.
For people that don't know what Patreon is, it's essentially it's a website that you can go on and support content creators, especially content creators.
Content creators, I've heard about that.
That's what you're doing.
That's exactly.
You're doing it now.
I'm learning about the internet.
So, with regards to Patreon, it's literally you can just donate a few pound a month to the people that you're watching or listening to.
Same as a cup of coffee a month.
Yeah,
Really?
Less than that if you go to Costa.
Yeah, that's
well for us.
McDonald's.
We start. We start at £3.29 all the way up to 100 grand a month. So you've got a bit of spare money and you've got 100 grand to chuck away.
That's really interesting.
You get a doormat.
Of course, yeah.
That's
it. A doormat.
That's it.
100 grand.
100 grand for a doormat. Wow, that's a win-win for everyone.
There we go.
I actually need a new doormat. I can't actually endorse a doormat for £100,000 for value for money, but I know where you're coming from. But I'm sure it's a great doormat.
You're not our clientele then, Richard.
No, you know what? I need to save my pennies.
Yeah, we've only got one doormat.
One day.
One day.
I'll never be a doormat.
It's good. Right, so basically what within that Patreon, we're setting up an after dark. So we already push the boundaries, we're already non-PC. We already say stuff that's probably in 20 years is going to get us imprisonated. But we are setting up an extra for our Patreons that are going to be extra rude. It's after dark.
And it is exclusive to our patrons. So
and actually, I think
how would people who want to be a patron or advertise with you, how would they have to contact you?
You go to www.patreon.com/properchat.
Can you say that again? Just say that really clearly.
www.patreon.com/properchat. It's literally just to support us. Or go to YouTube, go to Spotify.
Anything helps.
And just watch
like our page, share it, tag your friends in it. Wait until Rishi's on the late night version.
Yes.
Oh, he's just doing the show.
Yeah, I'm coming on the show.
I'm coming. My God, thank you. My first on the show thing. Wow, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be in it. I'd love to be there. Thank you very much. Thank you. And maybe I can bring my girlfriend on it too, if that's okay.
Yeah,
well, she'll probably kick my ass. I'll have to ask her first.
That's beautiful.
Right. Secondly, can I also say to people out there, please help people support these independent podcasts because they're working hard. Okay, they're not with the system. They're doing this off their own back. So maximum respect goes to these people. Okay, and I hope you've enjoyed these talking with me tonight. And again, this is our first live appearance for myself. And looking forward to see you venture. And I'd like to say thank you very much, guys.
Ash, you're up to go and cook dinner.
Are you ready for some more cooking? Back to the kitchen, guys.
Okay, guys, like we said before, we're going to start with our starter. We've got our bog standard Camembert straight from the shop, and we're going to make it our own. So we'll start by removing the packaging. We want to peel this plastic layer off, get rid of all of that. We don't need any of that. I'm going to pop that back into our cardboard box. Now what we're going to do with this, pop some little knife serrated edges. I'm going to take a bit of basil, bit of mixed herbs, bit of rosemary, and we're just going to stuff it into the gaps. Just going to throw some mixed herbs on, bit of cracked black pepper. Gonna have to, bit of salt. We're just going to fold it over. Just going to fold that over, pop it into our preheated oven. And to accompany that today, we've got ciabatta. And all we're going to do is just slice it down and create our breadsticks. Now we've got them, we're just going to throw them in, toast them off. Okay, Ash, so you're our first guest on our new format.
I know, it's impressive.
Today you're doing a beef Wellington for us, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to give it a go. I've only ever done it once, but we'll see. We'll see how it comes out.
On your channel, I really had a good time, and I wanted to get you in and do this with you.
Awesome.
So I've done a few bits for you already, just to save time here. So I've got some collards and broccoli on.
Awesome.
I've got some sweet potato we've done already. I've got some parsley and parsnips and some carrots in the oven. I've laid out the parma ham.
Perfect.
Salt, pepper, and a bit of English mustard on your beef.
Perfect.
So what are you going to do for us?
So the first thing I'm going to do is sear the beef. Get that in. So get it in nice so it starts searing up. We've got some tongs over here as well. I'll just wash this off. So once this is searing off quite nicely, we'll see it browning underneath. These are some big tongs. You said that, didn't you?
Yeah, well, you know, I wanted to make us look a bit shorter and a bit thinner. That's
it, yeah. So what I'm doing now is I'm just tilting the pan with the olive oil.
Yeah, just keep it all
cooking
nice and hot in
this side, and I'm letting it brown underneath. So we're not cooking it in here. All we're doing is browning it because that's going to bring the flavour out.
That's going to seal it and lock in all that flavour.
Exactly. So once this is done, so that's browned off nicely, we'll get this flipped over. You can see it's got this really nice texture to it.
Great colour to it, and obviously we don't want to do it too much because we like our beef a little bit rare. We want it well done.
That's the one thing with beef. People always cook it too much. I find the rarer it is, you still get that nice.
Yeah, when you spend money on a good quality cut of beef, you end up losing a lot of the stuff by just cooking it through too much. It ends up a bit too leathery, and it's just not really enjoyable. That's my personal preference anyway.
So what I'm going to do, just turn this on, just searing the edges as well.
Yeah.
Make sure all that
flavour.
flavour.
All the way round, get it all locked in.
So this is good. Get that seared on the end. Olive oil works a treat because it's just getting that nice brown colour to it.
And are you a cooker at home? Do you do a lot of cooking at home?
Yes and no. I work late, so I get home.
So you've fallen into that category of fast
easy.
Fast food and takeaways, easy stuff.
Fast food takeaway for me.
So would you do something like this on a fairly regular basis? Would this be something that you'd go to?
It's more a special occasion meal.
Excellent. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So perhaps guests or something once it's quarantine finishes?
So the last time I cooked this was probably about May time.
Okay.
It was one of them things.
Not too long ago though. Not too long ago.
No, well I kept seeing the Gordon Ramsay video online, and I just kept seeing it pop up and pop up and pop up.
Okay,
and
so
it
we're
was
just taking the beef out there to rest. And what we're going to do is going to use this oil here now. And we're going to throw the mushrooms through there as well, aren't we?
That's it. That's what we're going to do.
So
Get the
we've got all that
mushrooms
flavour
through it.
that's come off in the oil, the olive oil we're using, and it's just going to finish off. Just going to finish off in there with all the mushrooms in there, cooking and finishing it. And we're going to soak up some of that meaty texture.
Once these are done as well, what we'll probably do is get them on a tray. Once they're on the tray, it just cooks all the water out of them because we're going to be putting the mushrooms.
What I've done for you, I've done quite a rough cut. I know you did ask for it quite blended, quite diced. I've done you quite a rough cut there, so I'm going to end up cutting into it with some chunky mushroom flavour. Hopefully, anyway, hopefully. Now, this is one of the first times I've done beef Wellington. I've done it before previously, here and there, but I've never actually done it in my home or outside of a professional environment. So a lot of this is new to me as well.
It's just the thing. I love mushrooms. Mushrooms are one of my favourite
And there's so many
things.
different varieties.
Exactly.
Is there a preference for you?
Normally, whatever's cheapest. But for me, I do a lot of steak at home. Probably once a week, I'll do a steak. So I love sort of caramelised onions, caramelised mushrooms.
Flat caps. Things like that.
Okay. Just cook them all up. But
you're not a fan of like the earthy flavours or the heavy chestnuts? Or...
chestnuts at Christmas. I like a chestnut at Christmas, but any mushrooms will do for me because I dice them up, I chuck them in, a little bit of brown sugar in there.
Flavour there,
yeah. And you get a little bit of sweetness out of them when they're with red onion because I only really cook with red onion rather than white onions. You see, this is starting to.
What are we looking for in the way of texture here? What are we after? What are you going for?
We want them cooked right down. We don't want them.
So we want to reduce them right down.
Yeah.
We want to keep some of that, burn off some of that water on there. Anything in the mushrooms, and just have that wholesome flavour.
Yeah, pretty much. Just keep moving them around, making sure they're all even. And these will just start cooking down and cooking down. Once they're all cooked down, we can then get them on a baking tray, get them in an oven. I'm just going to spread them out now, just so we're making sure.
Yeah, just nice and evenly cooked through then. Okay.
And what you'll see as well, if we get a close up, you'll see them all in here. The water's coming out of them now. You can really start to smell it. You see the water bubbling away.
Yeah, it's just simmering away there. So we're just going to reduce that really.
That's
Take off
it.
all that water in there, and
you see with this, you get this lovely brown colour.
Oh, it's
but
perfect.
if you spread
Absolutely
it, you've got that nice red
inside. What we've done is we've thrown
there.
a layer of English mustard over
Exactly.
it. So that's
gives it a little bit of a fiery texture, a little bit of heat.
Kick to it.
Yeah, that's bubbling up really well now.
I mean,
really
it can
well.
be done without the mustard if you're really not a mustard fan, but on a cold night like this, a nice warm dish like that with a nice little kick to it could be perfect.
And also, if you don't like mustard, you can also use horseradish.
Yeah,
if you're a fan of horseradish, ideal.
I mean, personally, I find the horseradish kick a little bit stronger.
Do
I
you?
don't smother that too much. I like it on my Sunday roast. That's my go-to for a Sunday roast, that is.
Have you got a spoon for me, please?
Yeah.
Can I grab that? Larger spoon, a little bit smaller than what this is. That's it. So what I want to do is just show in here, if I lift this up, you can literally see the water coming out of that. That is cooking up lovely. And it smells incredible.
It does, it really does. I mean, that might be my collie and broccoli in the background that you can smell.
Oh, it might
this
be.
Is definitely a dish. I'm already feeling hungry just smelling it.
Have we got a little bit of salt for me, Fab?
A little bit of salt, we've got it just under here, sorry mate.
No worries.
Slide you out the way there.
Get a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper in there.
We've got some low salt, we can put it on the floor, it's ground salt.
Oh, I like it, I like it.
We're both dads, so we can
I
bang
came
out
for the
dad jokes.
jokes.
We can do the dad jokes, can't
That's
we?
why I'm here for the jokes.
It's not for my good looks or food, we're doing jokes again, aren't we?
The looks, the looks, you're getting there. What can I say? That is coming up really well.
Yeah.
It's really cooking down. And this spoon's ideal actually because I can sort of just chop it up a little bit more as it's in there. You see for the camera, this is just absolutely dripping now.
Spot on, absolutely spot on. Now, we've got a few minutes of that simmering away still, haven't we?
We have.
So is there anything we can be doing in the meantime while that's cooking away? This is your recipe, this is something that you
I won't claim it as my recipe, but we'll get there. At the moment, it's literally just cooking this down. So the meat's resting. That's doing what it needs to do. Once this is cooked down enough, we'll drain it. We'll get it on a board and really dry it out in the oven. Or a grill. We'll put it under the grill and just dry it.
Just simmer it right through.
Once that's dry, I'm just going to explain what we're doing here. So with the Parma ham, it's on some cling film because we're going to need to roll the meat and the mushrooms.
We're going to keep that nice and airtight,
Exactly.
aren't we? Keep it all together, keeping any of the moisture.
And also, it will then steam the meat as well. So not only have we seared it on the outside, but it's going to steam from the inside. So you're still going to get that really nice beefy flavour. So that's all set out. That's nice and good. One thing people may want to do is salt it. Parma ham's quite a salty meat anyway, so you don't.
It's the way it's dry. We're actually talking to a guy who does a lot of charcuterie.
So what's that? You'll have to explain that
so
to me.
things like your chorizo and your salmon and things like that. He does a lot of charcuterie at home.
I'll tell you what.
He's a very old friend of ours, and we're hoping to get him on. So Chris, if you are watching, we'd love to get you in, talk about your charcuterie and how you do things. He does it all at home.
Makes the meats, grinds it
all together, wraps it all together. And to be honest, again, that's something else I'm not overly sure about. But don't get me wrong, I love a bit of chorizo. I love some smoked salami, things like that. So like smokers, things like your charcuterie. It's a bit more outside of my realm. There is an art to it, and it's something that.
A lot of people don't know what goes into it either.
With my size 12s, I'll just stamp all over it. I won't be able to. There's no fine art for me. So we're hoping to get him in and talk us through some of that. Maybe I can pick up and learn a few things from him as well.
So one thing, if I ever come back on, when you invite me back on, I do a mean chicken and chorizo paella.
Well, I'm hoping we're going to get you on for a dessert. I know we've got Will doing a dessert with us later.
I can do some frozen cupcakes.
Okay.
Not actual frozen.
Normally I'll do some like shopper cupcakes or something like that.
Oh, nice.
But we've got an easy to follow recipe for dessert from our friends over at Curiousitea Kitchen. In fact, they do a weekly bake along and they are followers of yours as well.
Are they?
Yeah,
they like the podcast.
Yeah, they do.
So that's.
I don't know why.
Oh, you loved it.
I loved it. But I've got a very niche sort of. So when I'm in my work van driving around, I often tune into you guys.
You like a chuckle.
Absolutely love it. You're doing loads of new stuff as we talked about earlier, or later, depending on which way the edit works out. But I really enjoy you guys.
Thank you.
I wanted to have you in. I wanted to see what you guys are doing with food, and really for a learning curve for me, what everyone else is doing. So I'm just taking a back seat here. I'm just really enjoying the smells and the vibrant colours coming off your dishes.
So what we were saying to the camera earlier about the water, so you can see the water now is pretty much cooked off, but the mushrooms are still wet, still very wet, which is why we put them on the tray. So what we're going to do now that most of this is gone, we're going to move the tray over. Beautiful, thank you very much. If I pop this over here. So we'll get all these mushrooms, make sure we don't waste any, straight into here. Once they're in here, we'll get rid of this.
That's great. I'll go and do a bit of washing up for you while you're doing that.
Wonderful, and we'll spread these out nice and thin. The reason we're spreading them out thin is because we don't want any of them sitting in their own water. They need to be dry, or a lot drier than what this is, purely because we don't want all of the Parma ham and all of the meat getting really, really wet. So now these are spread out really well. We'll get this in the oven.
Great. We'll get it top of the oven, I believe. Yeah, bit of space in there.
There we go. So we'll just leave that in there for maybe 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
Just dry them out. We'll take them out after 10 and check them. You'll know when they're dry. Once they're dry, we'll take them out and we'll get them on here.
It might take a bit longer than 10 minutes. We're just going to keep an eye on it as we go, aren't we?
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry, I'm jumping in. This is issue. I don't
No. You're the professional. You're the professional.
I just show up, get drunk, do a bit of cooking.
That's what we want.
That's really how we started out with chefs. So we've got, at the minute, we've got the collie and broccoli cooking.
We've got some wonderful parsnips and carrots. They look incredible.
You didn't see them before, did you?
No.
You guys were doing the interview as I was preparing them. So we've got them in. You'll see them as they come out and we plate up. But I've got broccoli on the go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that in with my
Mash.
sweet potato. I'm going to make a sweet potato and broccoli mash.
Wonderful.
It's something that Rishi showed me a couple of weeks ago. It was just we had bits knocking around. What can we do with it? And we were playing around, experimenting, trying to have a bit of fun with food. We've got our collie and broccoli for the accompaniment to our dish. We've got our parsnips, our carrots under there.
Perfect.
All ready to go.
It's a relatively healthy dish as well. It's a winter dish, but it is a
very much
healthy
winter
dish.
So we're hoping that people at home can do this to look after mum.
Yes.
It's not too difficult to make, is it?
No.
I mean, how many times did you review?
So I picked up the video from YouTube.
Yep.
It's about 7 minutes long. I must have watched it maybe 3 or 4 times, but it wasn't
what
just...
Did you think, I can do this, I absolutely smash this?
Once I'd done.
Because I understand, sorry, I understand Will had done it, Will had tried it.
Will tried it,
Come
yeah.
around this way, so you're looking to go.
No, it's all good. So Will tried it.
Yeah.
Loved it. What I'll do, I'll send you the pictures as well. The first time I made it.
Oh, excellent.
And then
do you
we'll
do a
this.
lot of on the pastry? Do you carve out the pastry and set a nice pattern on there?
I tried.
Okay.
It came out okay. I've never been good with making pastry, so I didn't make it myself.
I've never been very artistic at all. So
Just roll is just as good.
that's exactly
There
what we've
we
done.
go.
We've gone just roll today, save a bit of time, show them how easy it can be done at home as well. As I say, this is a dish you can make for mum, keep her proud, keep her happy, give her the day off from the kitchen, because we know what it's like. You get home from school or you get home from work, and mum or wife or girlfriend or anyone else has normally got dinner on the go or something like that for you to keep you out of the kitchen making a mess. Now, I'm a very messy chef, as we can see here. We've got dishes all over the place, but that's fine because we're going to find someone to come in and clean for us.
Yes.
I think if not, we'll just go home and leave Rishi's house in a mess.
Great thing about this as well is if you are strapped for time, what you can do, especially once you've rolled it, so once the mushroom's on, the meat's on, you've rolled it, you've left it to sit, get it in the pastry, roll it and put it in the fridge, because that'll keep in the fridge overnight for a day.
It can be done the day
and
before.
Exactly. And then chuck it in the oven, half hour, 40 minutes.
We're going to stick it in the fridge, aren't we? We're going to stick it in the fridge about 10, 15 minutes or so, just to let it all decompress, just seal itself together. Really just set.
Yes. And also, the tighter we go, we'll go through it later, the tighter we go, the more it's going to hold its shape.
We don't want anything too sort of floppy or falling over the plate. We want something nice and compressed, something that looks great on a plate, that you can present as your hard work and the labours you'll love in the kitchen.
So hopefully it'll all work out there.
Yeah.
So while this cooks, shall we start tidying up, doing bits and pieces?
Let's cut to an ad break.
Let's cut to an ad break.
So we've got the mushrooms out of the oven now. They're nice and dried. They smell delicious, absolutely
They
delicious.
do smell incredible.
Yeah. So all we've done is we've just cooked them off in their own juices, really, a bit of the meat juice.
A little bit of olive oil in there as well, just to heat the pan up nice.
So what's the next step?
So next step with these is getting them onto the Parma ham. What we want to do is spread it out nice. As you see, as it comes, you just spread them.
Yeah, just as easy as buttering toast.
Easier than buttering toast, I would say. Some butter on toast is
you know that butter that wrecks your bread.
Yeah, I love a Lurpak butter. My missus doesn't love a Lurpak butter, but it's the hardest one to spread.
I'm a margarine fan on my toast in the morning.
Oh yeah, you don't like that salty goodness that's in.
I like something nice and easy to spread. I don't like too much hassle in the mornings. Nothing happens until we've had a coffee.
So what I'm doing is just getting this
covering all of the Parma ham there.
as much as I can. So when it rolls, it comes out really nice. One trick that I find with this that I'm not doing very well is being a little bit more delicate with a spoon.
Well, I've done them quite a rough cut as well, so they're not really a paste, are they? They're more of a chunky
But then
flavour to them.
this is similar to how I did. I broke my food processor trying to do this.
I came on your podcast, didn't I? And I remember you saying about it and the sort of hassles you'd had with one of these first big, really big dishes you were making.
Yeah, because I like to experiment, but I like to try and keep it easy enough.
Yeah, yeah.
So
just to explain, what we've done is we've cut that beef down, haven't we, to create a sort of smaller...
Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier to roll.
Yeah, a little bit easier to handle. We're going to get a proper wrap all the way around it then.
So now what we're doing, we're going to come over and we're literally going to roll it. As we roll it,
we're going to keep that cling film
we're going to keep that cling film out, and we're sealing the meat up. So when it cooks, it's cooking nice and even. Once you've done this, just roll it over. So like I said, second time, just tuck it right in, because what we want to do is have as little holes as possible.
So what we've done there is we've created a block really with beef, mushroom, parma ham wrapped all the way around there.
So now, if I can get this right.
Let's hope you can, because we're doing this live.
Oh no, we're doing this.
Shoot.
I want to get this right over, and I'm tucking it in, and I'm making it really, really tight.
And we are falling slightly out the ends there, but we can come back and fill that, can't we?
Yeah, well, with the ends, I'll get there. So this folds over, so that's tight. Then what you want to do is twist the end. It doesn't matter if stuff falls out, it's all good. Twist these ends, and then we're literally going to keep twisting these until it gets nice and tight, and you'll see it starting to bulge out like you can see here.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never been good at twisting these things, but I'll keep doing it.
Are you, when the bars are open, were you good at twisting the night away?
Oh, no, not for me. I'm not a dancer. I haven't got the physique of a dancer.
You've got a lot of technique there, a lot of rhythm with the way you're doing things. That's why I ask.
I think it's music. I'm a big music fan. So now that's nice and tight. See how it's all bulged out, exactly how we want it. And then we're going to chuck this in the fridge for about 15 minutes, just so it seals. Once that's sealed, we can then wrap it in the pastry. Perfect. So we'll get this in the fridge.
In the fridge.
So that's there.
So we've got that in the fridge for the next 10 minutes. In the meantime, we've got a side to make.
We do. We've got the side.
So what I've done is I've got some sweet potato. I've cooked it off. I've mashed it up. And then to that, I'm going to add a bit of butter, a bit of broccoli, and just blend it all together. And this is going to create our broccoli sweet potato mash. A little bit different, but I reckon it's party 5 a day. Now it does look a lot like Bubble and Squeak. This does look a lot like the classic Bubble and Squeak dish.
So now we've got the Wellington. It's not a very nice shape, but it's there. We're just going to massage in some egg yolk. We want to get all the way around it, just making sure it doesn't stick at all. Get it nice and coated. This is going to give it that nice golden look as well. Now we've done that, I'm just going to wash my hands quickly, and we'll get on to scoring.
Some rock salt there for you.
Oh, perfect. So scoring, put a little line down with the back of the knife, and then you come in at an angle, just straight across. No, this is all good, mate, thank you. Just get that real nice and score. This, when it puffs up, is going to give it a lovely, lovely look.
Some great hatch work going on there.
That's not bad, is it?
It's not bad at all. Again, using the back of the knife just to make sure we don't cut through that pastry, and that's going to keep it nice and tight in there.
A little bit of rock salt.
Now the key thing is with the rock salt, it will really bring out the puffiness of the pastry, but also if you put rock salt or salt through your egg wash, it'll really give you a nice golden texture on your pastry as well.
And that is it, oven ready. So depending on how rare you want it, you then either put it in the oven for about half hour, 40 minutes if you like it rare, a little bit longer if you want it.
The longer it stays in, the more it's going to cook for you.
Exactly. So
how do you like your beef then?
I like my beef rare. I like it, I find when it's rare it's very tender. And once it's tender, it's just a lot easier. I don't like chewing beef. I like a prime cut of beef.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
like a fillet, even a rump or a T-bone, just making sure it's that.
No, the difficult thing is seeing how it's cooked through when it's in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're going to work to a roughly half an hour, 40 minutes. We're going to aim for 35 minutes to make sure it's nice and rare. But obviously, the longer you leave it in there, the more it's going to cook.
Perfect.
So you're happy with rare? We're going to go about 35 minutes.
We'll go about 35 minutes.
So yeah, we'll see you after this.
Then.
Okay, guys. So we're a day late with our dessert.
Hi there, then.
we ran out of time filming last night.
We did, yeah, we did, yeah.
And we've got Curiosity Kitchen's 3-ingredient dessert to make for you, which we promised. It's been nice and easy. It's only a few steps. I'll try and picture it as we go along, but if you haven't caught up with us, follow them on Facebook. They do a weekly bake-along that's well worth a watch. All we're going to need for this is 100 grams of flour, 400 grams of Nutella, and 4 eggs. So here we go. So what we've done is added our 4 eggs and our 400 grams of Nutella into a bowl, giving it a good mix. Then we're going to add our 100 grams of flour. I'm going to stir that through. So we're going to throw all that into our baking tray, stick it in the oven for 35 minutes, around about 175 degrees.
It's the Quarantine Kitchen, Season 3, Episode 1, tailor-made lockdown rhythm. Let's get this.
It's Tony B.
Start lockdown rhythm. 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 Birthdays, no family parties, pissed up cousins, uncles and aunties, pointless moaning or arguments started. I missed that really, but less than a laughing. Beer gardens with your mates at 6, nice go pants or roast beef crisp. Shots of the boot, it was work be shit, but the session starts up. Drive round town with the windows down and the music loud and you see what's bad. Belly ain't dancing and feeling proud because your mates just said what you thought out loud. Festival dancing a football crowd, bit of hooliganism and I miss that now. All day drinking, your mates come round that. Who's gonna give him when they keep locked down and the party's on and this party on? You see a lot of that's dancing the party songs and they hit that Dutch and pass it on. When everyone's doing it, it can't be wrong. Jalapeno, halloumi or barbecues, fake Gucci hat and Armani shoes. And arguments about who to choose. Gonna run to the shop and go and get more booze than work. You're acidic, man, I miss that, no kidding. So when you earn that cash you're living, but when you furlough, man, it's just giving. We're resisting now, not living. Just in the mud shops, no swimming. Just video games, spinning our consoles out. Can't wait till they're giving their debts to the nightclubs with a whole bunch. And your close friends getting doled up. And you're so drunk but sober. Cause it's good vibes only we show love. Then the morning after you're hanging. Cause the night before was so banging. When the beat repeats, it keeps playing in your mind. And the 80 beats are so savage. I mean, but soon enough the beat open again. DJ Dex be smoking again. Cracking up next down frozen again. And next thing regrets gonna be broken again. Won't be long man, I'm hoping again. That different parties, they'll be phoning again. Like you got a phone their friend in a couple of months won't be lonely again. Cause start lockdown rhythm. 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 Thank you to the NHS because you've done your best and you smashed it. And thank you to the key workers that have quarantined from their families. RIP to the ones that we lost, it's devastating and tragic. Could wrong the COVID-19, it's time that you leave now, vanish. Thank you to the NHS because you've done your best and you smashed it. Thank you to the key workers that have quarantined from their families. RIP to the ones that we lost, it's devastating and tragic. Could wrong the COVID-19, it's time that you leave now, vanish. Could wrong the COVID-19, it's time that you leave now, vanish. Could wrong the COVID-19, it's time that you leave now, vanish.
Well, that's a wrap for tonight's show. Hope you all enjoyed it, and that's a good night from Fab and good night from me, and we'll see you all again soon.
Well, I just want to let you know we have all stayed COVID safe throughout filming today. We've taken a lot of precautions to do so. We're really pleased with our Mother's Day special.
Yeah, I think it's gone well, yeah. Take care, guys. Good night. Stay safe.